Hello, this is the Bosendorfer Strauss model 170, and Strauss is a model that they make today. It's to do with the cabinet work. You can see I was zeroing in on the pedals because there's a beautiful lyre and they've got some inlay on them as well. And you see how the rods are connected differently. This is a piano I'm particularly fond of. You can see we've raised the casters up here with caster cups. Bosendorfer pedals are low like Bechstein's are, and that's wonderful because it enables us to lift the casters up without the pedals seeming too high, and if you need more legroom, that's really useful. As I say, the restoration just been finished. These are ivory keys, 88 note, by the way. Some Bosendorfer 170s are 85 notes. 88 notes is the normal, obviously. 85 keys is all right for majority of pianists, but this is the top model, and it's available, by the way, for rental on possible purchase later on. I'll explain as I go along why that is. We had to repair the rest blank. It was totally broken. Actually, before we look at the rest blank, I just want to show you that one of the trademarks of this style of Bosendorfer is that you've got a light inlay underneath and light colour, and the light lid prop there as well. I think it's really particularly beautiful. Let's zero in on the frame too. This is the proper Bosendorfer colour, or as near as we can get to it. And the soundboard's been shimmed as well. The piano had dried out chronically. The rest blank was completely split, and there's another video that I'll try and link to this. If you watch it on YouTube, you'll see the video before we restored the piano. Now, this is a brand new Delignate rest blank here. That's what had broken. The piano was inherited, and I think it had been kept in a very warm flat, and it can seriously damage a piano if it's warm and dry. So the rest blank are completely shot, as you'll see in the other video. You can see here it's been restored as well as possible, and the original dampers, actually, this was restored before, funnily enough, before it was damaged. So we kept the original dampers, which are perfect. So now looking at the action, as you can see, we've replaced the rollers as was suggested in the restoration video of this piano, and the assessment, sorry. You can see we've also put French chalk here. That makes it really smooth and like a new piano. And I'm particularly fond of the geometry of the action on Bosendorfer. This is actually a Schroeder action, not a Renner action, but in the trade, as you'll know as a technician, that's an extremely well-made action. And now it's so smooth, so the feel of the 170 Bosendorfer is to me, there's no better baby grand. We've lightly refaced the hammers and not totally taking the indentations out. Needs playing in and fine voicing, really. There's something, because it's in my home, I shall do that while it's here, unless somebody rents it out beforehand. As I say, the piano is available for rental. The client inherited the piano. We couldn't rent it out as it was. They wanted us to store it, but it's much better, I think, to have the piano in someone's home being used. Obviously, the case could get slightly scratched, but that's really, compared to what it was before, it's going to be practically perfect when we return the piano to. So that's a Bosendorfer Strauss, 170 centimetres long. Strauss is the model. The 170 Bosendorfers. We've restored several of these in a similar fashion, and we're always very pleased with the results. And I'm really pleased to have it in my home to try it out, because I've always said to clients how wonderful they are. When I visited the clients who purchased them, they've been very pleased with their purchase, but I've never had one in my home for very long. So I want to try it out and see if I still like it as much as I do when I have one in stock. Certainly up till now, and it's been about a week and a half, I'm even more enamoured with it than I was before. The action, there's something about the geometry of the action on these pianos that makes them so restorable. Weighting about 50 grams just under, but such a smooth feel to them. And we fine regulated the piano, obviously. So you can rent this piano. It might be for sale later on if the client decides they can't house it. They inherited the piano. It needed serious restoration, as you'll see if you look at the video, and very pleased with the result of it. Just wherever you play it as well, the tone is lush, warm, right down to the bottom bass. Thank you very much for listening.